This video is about OLI discussions in Canvas, about how to set up groups, how to set up due dates, and about how to set up due dates and accessibility dates, and about how to grade discussions. The first discussion in OLI is Module 3, Let Learners Struggle. In my class, some students started the discussion before I had set up groups, or some students added the class after I set up groups. That's why I got this message right here. In that case, what you have to do is, instead of editing the discussion, we want to cancel that, go to People. Actually, let's check something. Let's check the name of the discussion. It's Module 3. That's what the discussion group is called, the set of discussion groups. Let's go to People. And the group set is called Module 3. And if I need to add more groups to this group set, it looks like I've already added 6 groups. But I see there's all these people here that are not in groups. So I can add a group to this group set. I've added 6 groups. Maybe you haven't added any groups. We'll add a group here, and then we can start dragging people into a group. For example, we can drag this person into any one of these groups. I'm not actually going to do that for my class because I've already done this step. I created some groups and I started dragging people in here. If someone posted before you made the group sets, leave those people who already posted in the ungrouped, unassigned students. People who have not posted, you can assign to groups. Each group should have about 5, 6, maybe 7 students in them. So I've got 5 or 6 students in each group. Now let's go to a discussion which students have not started participating in yet. So one of those discussions in my class that students have not participated in yet is in Module 4. I will edit this discussion, and I'll create a new group category, and I'll call this new group category Module 4B. Usually you'd create one group for Module 4, one for Module 5, one for Module 6. But at the beginning of the semester, I want to mix up my groups more frequently, so I'm making a new module, a new group for each discussion in Module 4, rather than just one group for all the discussions in Module 4. I have about 32 students in my class. I want group sizes between 5 and 6, so I should split the students into about 6 groups. That'll give me group sizes of between 5 and 6. Canvas will randomly assign students to the groups. So I'm going to have 6 groups, and I'll save. And that's all there is to creating groups. Now, students who add the class after right now will not be assigned to a group, and I'm going to have to keep track of that. Any students who add, I'm going to have to manually assign to groups. The way I'm going to do that later, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, is I'll go back to People again. Oops, forgot to save. Thank you for reminding me about that, Canvas. I'll save. I'll go back to People tomorrow, the next day when students add. I'll go to the group set of Module 4B. And when students add, they'll be in the left column here, and I'll drag and drop them into a group with not enough students. So maybe I'll drag and drop them into this Module 4B Group 1, or 4B Group 2, or 4B Group 3. Maybe because this group has 7 students, and this group has 7 students, maybe I want to create another group here and call it Module 4B Group 7. I'm kind of lazy, I'm not going to do that right now. Next, I want to set due dates and availability dates. So I'll go to the modules again. And for this discussion, this one was in Module 4. It was dot plots. I'm teaching a Monday-Wednesday class. Dot plots will be worked on in class, day 2 of week 1. Discussions are 2-part assignments. There's the original post, and then there's the feedback. According to the PACE chart, dot plots are done on day 2 of week 1. I teach a Monday-Wednesday class, so that would be Wednesday, January 30th. Homework will be assigned, discussions are 2-part assignments. So the first part, the original post, will be due on Monday of week 2, and the second part, the feedback, will be due on Wednesday of week 2. So when I edit, there's going to be a due date, and the due date is going to be the due date for the first part of the assignment, the original post, Monday of week 2, which is 2/4, February 4th. And the second part of the assignment, I got to put in 11:59 p.m. Important, 11:59 p.m. And the due date for the second part of the assignment for the feedback is going to be available until, and that's going to be February 6th. That will be Wednesday of the second week. Oh, it already gave me 11:59 p.m. Isn't that convenient? Okay, done. So the 2 parts, the first part is the due date, and the second part of the assignment is the available until date. And I'm going to save this. The final objective of this video is to show how to grade a discussion. So I'm going to go to Discussions. And the first discussion, Module 3, Let Learners Struggle, I've already got a fair number of responses to. I can see here I've got 15 replies to Group 4. And I'm going to skim through the responses here first. So I've got the first post, we've got 2 responses, 3 responses. Every person is supposed to have at least 2 responses. So that's good. Joseph sent me an email saying that this was an accidental post, so that's why he has an empty post there. So I'll just ignore that one. There's Joseph's real post, and he has 2 responses, and Nico has 2 responses, and Marjorie has just 1 response. So I guess, well, this isn't due for until Monday, so we've got some time there for a second response. And Amelia has no responses, so they need 2 responses here. So the deadline's not up yet, but we need some more responses before this discussion is complete. Okay, so now to grade individuals, I'm going to go to the ... and speed grader. And in the drop-down menu, everyone who has an orange dot is an ungraded person. Everyone who is grayed out is someone who did not submit anything yet. So let's see, we had Joshua was one of the people in that first discussion who had made some posts. And I'm going to view the rubric. Let's get some more space here so I can see the rubric a little bit better. Joshua's initial post. I can just click here on which points in the rubric seems to best describe his initial post. His initial post was on time, and he appears to have read and thought deeply about the material, made a good faith effort to respond to the prompt based on the reading. It was on time. And speed read through this. I believe this is worth 3 points, so I would click here. I'm not actually going to do that because I actually should spend a little bit more time reading than I did. Giving and receiving feedback. So after his initial post, I've got his 2 feedback posts. So the second criterion, given and receiving feedback. You've given feedback to at least 2 other group members. Yes, he has. And all fully participating group members received feedback from at least 2 distinct group members other than themselves. So no, not yet. Fortunately, the deadline for the until availability has not come yet. So if I had to give the grade right now, I'd give them a 1 for the group. High quality feedback. That's the third criterion in the rubric. You provided high quality feedback. More importantly, if a student's initial post was incorrect, that student received constructive and instructive feedback enabling the student to correct the mistake and a reply to the self. So I would actually need to read this more carefully than I have time to right now to decide whether the feedback was high quality feedback or not high quality feedback yet. This is where I should have spent more time on the original posts. So Joshua is replying to Joseph. And finally, correcting errors. Did Joshua have any errors did Joshua have any errors that need to be corrected? Well, I haven't read Joshua's post, so I don't know. So I can't finish this grading until I've actually read Joshua's initial post and decided whether he had any errors, because I haven't watched Michael Jordan's videos. So after I've clicked on the appropriate points in the rubric, I'm going to save. Canvas is automatically going to tally up the points, and then I can move on to the next person in the group and grade their posts. And that concludes my video about discussions.